Yeah, so, I mean, some of the players I really don't know outside the first round. Even some of the players in the first round, just because I don't watch too much college football. But everything I know has been coming off of these NFL draft live coverage. So we'll go off of that.
And I'll be honest, every year prior to this last year, I religiously followed the draft. I religiously followed the prospects. You know, I knew who was who went where, how they performed in college, how many starts they had. If they had just that one starting season and performed well. Mitch Trubisky. And I mean, Trey Lance was like that too. However, Trey Lance actually won a national title. So there's that as well too.
Yeah, I mean, the second round's about to come to an end. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock, it looks like. But we'll just start from the first round and we'll work our way back. And then we'll catch up to where the draft is right now. So number 1, Trevor Lawrence went from Clemson, went to Jacksonville. No surprise there. I think everybody kind of figured.
I mean, aren't really any of us surprised. Who's Jacksonville's coach right now?
Urban Meyer.
Which, that could be a good fit. I'm not sure, because their weapons have changed around quite a bit, so I'm not sure who they're...
I think they also drafted a really good running back. I think maybe the best running back in the draft. Let me see if it was... I thought I saw something like that.
In the early
yeah. Travis Etienne, I think is how you say it, from Clemson. So he played with Trevor Lawrence too.
There we go.
They're all, the common theme in this draft, it seems like all the teams are getting a pair that the quarterback originally played with in college. So they're trying to pair them up, it looks like. Zach Wilson to the Jets, saying he's supposed to be really good from BYU.
He is, however.
He's no Trey Lance, right? Is that what you're about to say?
I mean, I'll get to that later. However, no offense to you Jets fans, but that organization's kind of a hole. That's where QBs go to die. Who's the last good,
Sam Darnold,
great quarterback? Joe Namath, right?
Broadway Joe.
Yeah. I mean
Mark Sanchez. I mean, come on, both fumble guy.
I mean, Joe Namath was the only one that won a championship, or the most recent one that won a championship there.
I think he's the only one. I'm not sure. He's either the most recent or the only one, or both.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think, he's a lot like Sam Darnold. A lot of people say Zach Wilson's more accurate than Sam Darnold. However, my argument to that is Sam Darnold was playing in the Pac-12 where he was going up against better cornerbacks, so he wasn't able to be as accurate as Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's really not in a division. He's in BYU. Also, we're Ute fans, so we hate BYU.
I was waiting for that to come up. Was there games this year? I don't really watch any Utes. Oh, if there was, it wasn't really.
I don't know. Yeah, it was. I didn't really.
Or I guess this last year.
What
I have to say. Trey Lance to the Niners.
Yeah, that's who I was hoping the Niners would draft if they were going to draft. Now, I'm sure you all saw the breaking news where Aaron Rodgers wanted out of Green Bay, and we all know he's from the Bay Area. We all know he wanted to come back to the 49ers. We also know last year Tom Brady also said something about playing for Kyle Shanahan. Both Bay Area boys, both of them, wouldn't be too far-fetched for them to come home and play. But I think Tom Brady, he's good where he's at because they surround him with talent. Also, no state taxes in Florida, no state income tax. And then...
Must be nice.
And then on top of that, Aaron Rodgers, again, Bay Area boy, and Green Bay, that front office doesn't do shit for Aaron Rodgers. He goes and tells them, what he needs. You would think, your key player, the one teams live and die by is a quarterback. That's your most important position.
Only person as talented or more talented is going to be Patrick Mahomes at that position, but Green Bay just drafts whoever they want. They don't make any big splash moves.
No.
And this last draft, they drafted a quarterback and traded up for him, so that's obviously sending a
clear message to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You know, which is funny because he's essentially doing the same thing Brett Favre did to him. Because
I don't think. Well, I haven't seen any reports.
Well, there's a report today
Love,
saying, well, not to Jordan Love, but there's reports that he might retire because thing.
I'm not sure. I didn't see it, but
you know, who knows? Maybe he retires, goes to the Niners. Trey Lance is studying behind Aaron Rodgers. I would not be opposed to that. But anyway, yeah, Trey Lance to the Niners. I think, you know, and I think most people would agree that he's the quarterback with probably the highest ceiling in the draft. A lot of raw talent, 1-year starter. But
the last North Dakota State quarterback was Carson Wentz. He had a really good MVP year 1 year where he tore his ACL at. They still ended up winning without him with Nick Foles, you know. So, I mean, he did that, but
I don't know. But, you know, he was playing for Doug Peterson. Whereas,
I don't know.
Whereas Trey Lance is going to play under Shanahan, who made RG3 and Kirk Cousins look really good.
I saw a report that Garoppolo was probably going to be a quarterback for 1 more year, like a bridge quarterback for Trey Lance, and then they're going to try to hand the reins.
Going to be the next, like, it's magic.
We'll see. Kyle Pitts at number 4, saying the best tight end in a long time.
I'm totally okay with that. You know, the Falcons have Julio Jones, who now they're open to trading because
they also have Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, but they're kind of running into a salary cap situation. But they have Calvin Ridley, they have Julio Jones, and with Kyle Pitts, I think that's going to give Matt Ryan more weapons, where he's going to look better than he actually is. But nonetheless, it should help them win games at least.
I mean, I guess the top 2 teams, the last few years, the top teams in the Super Bowl all had really good tight ends. So I can see if they're looking at it that way. George Kittle with the Niners, Travis Kelce on the Chiefs the last couple of years, Gronk, and I think they had 3 good tight ends there: O.J. Howard, Bray, and Gronk. So yeah, they were stacked there. I mean, I just don't know how good their defense is, but their offense should be pretty good. I haven't really paid attention to the Falcons so much, so if their defense is good, I messed up. Jamar Chase from LSU to Bengals. See, that's what I meant. They're matching up LSU quarterback with LSU receivers. They play together. So they're saying he should be really good, but I think he didn't play this last year was it injury, or I don't know if he sat out.
I'm not familiar. Like I said, this is the 1 year that I didn't really follow. And normally I follow it religiously. Like I said, I've been wanting the 49ers to draft a star receiver for the longest time. Deebo Samuel's great. I'm not going to complain. You know, Brandon Ayuk, he's coming up as well too. They have a lot of good talent. But, you know, I want one of those, like, Julio Jones type of receivers, or, you know, Odell back with the Giants receivers.
You just took Davis Mills QB.
Like one of those receivers. But again, if Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase can make something happen, great. But again, the Bengals, they're not really the best organization. So we'll see if it's another AJ Green and Andy Dalton situation.
They always seem to draft good players, but they never want to spend money to get good players around them in free agency because they're just cheap. I think was it last year they had a report that their coaches also do the scouting because they don't want to pay for scouts separately. So I guess they're doing a pretty good job. They get some good players most of the time, but I don't know.
But who knows how long that's been going on? But maybe they just barely switched to that, like when their losing started. All right, number 6, we have Jalen Waddle to Miami. Another, one of the 2-star Alabama receivers.
Another player the Giants wanted, but
I think a lot of people were kind of aware that the Dolphins were going to draft Waddle. Yes and no.
because they weren't sure if they were going to stick with Tua. I think it was last year they drafted him like 5th.
Yeah.
But just because he started off the year pretty good and then he started kind of going up and down. But yeah, I think if everybody knew that Tua was the guy, if everybody knew that Miami knew that Tua was the guy, then they knew they were going to get a receiver to add it with Tua, which they also, I guess, did the same thing. Alabama with Alabama receiver, quarterback again. So yeah.
Yeah, no, there's that as well too. Number 7,
Sewell,
which
he's the best tackle in the draft.
Yeah,
that's what they were saying.
Yeah, the best tackle in the draft.
To the Lions.
Who's the Lions quarterback now? Is it
Jared Goff now?
Yeah, that's
Stafford is going to LA.
really weird. Honestly, I don't think that's going to help Detroit at all. Detroit is where careers go to die. Barry Sanders, Exhibit A. Yes. Calvin Johnson, Exhibit B. Matt Stafford, Exhibit C.
Matt Stafford at least got out. We'll see if he's still.
He's
probably one of the other really talented guys that he was just in the Lions. So I mean, can't really judge him. He played pretty good.
So that's, again, they get a lot of good talent. They have good games. They have good seasons, regular seasons, but they don't show up in the playoffs.
Number 8, J.C. Horn to the Panthers.
Cornerback.
Corner. And I think the Cowboys wanted him too. The Cowboys, I think, either wanted him, Patrick Surtain, who went right after him, or Kyle Pitts if he fell to him. But Kyle Pitts went like number 4.
I don't know. I'm generally used to the Panthers. Always have stricken me as a team that just their playing style the last few years is defense. They have a good defense. They have a good secondary.
Linebackers.
So they
had Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly
as well too. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a Panthers fan by any means, but I love Luke Kuechly. He was one of my favorite players. Not as much as I love Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, but up there.
I'm a Giants fan, so I mean, we've been looking for a good middle linebacker for a while. I mean, they have a decent
for
one
the last 2 decades.
Yeah, I mean, Blake Martinez is a middle linebacker right now, which he's actually a beast at tackling. I think he either led the league in tackles, or he was pretty close to it.
Your D line, the Giants D line, has consistent. Well, I guess maybe not these last few years, but
this last year, I don't know. The D line in terms of pass rush wasn't great, but they were pretty good in stopping the run. But they drafted somebody we'll get to in the second round, who I think will help.
Again, and like you mentioned, Denver with. What's his name? Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain. Denver's defense has always been good these last, 6, 7. I think even these last 10 years, I don't think they've had a bad defense.
Is Chris Harris still on the Broncos?
I don't think so. I think he was on. I think he got traded, or he's not playing there. I'm not sure.
There was some issue with him there.
Just leave a comment and tell us if you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they're doing with their quarterback. I don't know if they're going to stick with Drew Lock or if they're maybe going to go into Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers trade. But we'll see, because I know John Elway did that with Peyton Manning, so he might do it with Aaron Rodgers too. Number 10, the Eagles jumped the Giants and traded up with the Cowboys, which is ironic. They traded with the Cowboys, division rivals.
You don't do business with the Cowboys.
Yeah, but they got Devontae Smith, the other receiver the Giants were looking at, and then because of that, the Giants traded down, which they'd get him. It was the first time he traded down in his whole career. It's the Joe Judge effect. 1 for 55 at this point. And the Bears got Justin Fields, QB. So the Bears got a steal, is what everybody's saying, but we'll see. What do you think?
Possibly. I mean, Justin Fields, Trey Lance and Justin Fields were the ones I wanted for the Niners. I didn't believe the Mac Jones hype, and hell, I would have gone crazy if the Niners drafted Mac Jones. I didn't want him at all. Not that he's a bad player, but he's more of a finished product. So what you saw is what you get.
He's just not a good fit for your system.
With Trey Lance and Justin Fields, they have legs as well too. So you can they can scramble, they can get out of the pocket if they need to. They can keep plays alive, all of that good stuff. But again, I think that was a good pickup for the Bears. It's not Mitch Trubisky type. And then for Devontae Smith, If the Niners weren't getting a quarterback, like I said, I wanted them to get a receiver. Devontae Smith is the one I wanted to go to the Niners. I know he's not as big body as a lot of these other receivers. However, neither was Odell Beckham, neither was Antonio Brown. They were small receivers, but they were.
I mean, they're not extremely small, but they're both like 5'11", maybe 6'.
Yeah, but they were around the same height as Devontae
But
Smith,
their route running ability is crazy, and their speed and their just overall playmaking ability was crazy.
Yeah.
That's why they don't need to be that tall.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love Devontae Smith. He was.
I think he's 6'3", or he's pretty tall actually. He's long. But he's
Devontae
small.
Smith. You know, he's 6'1".
He's bigger than 6 feet.
He's 6 or 6'1".
He's he's very light.
Because I remember when whenever he caught my attention, I actually did a little bit of research. You'll have to excuse that. Anyway, we went over Justin Fields, Devontae Smith.
Number 12, Micah Parsons to the Cowboys, who a lot of people are saying is maybe the best defender in the draft. I was thinking if the Giants don't trade down, because I was confused on who they were going to pick after the Eagles jumped them, because I know they were looking at Waddle or Smith. I was thinking maybe they'll go linebacker, but they ended up trading down, which was probably ended up being a smarter move, because they got actually 4 or 3 picks out of the Bears. The first round pick next year, a 4th and a 5th. So, not a bad haul. I mean, the Bears usually give up a lot for. I mean, they give up how many picks to the Niners that 1 year for Trubisky? Just to jump up 1 spot?
I honestly, as much as you know, as much as at the moment that was a great trade. And looking back on it now, Reuben Foster is no longer on the 49ers,
and Solomon
Thomas is probably on his way out. If Solomon Thomas is still on the team, look it up. Let's see.
I think he's on the team.
Because I know they were looking at moving him. I didn't see any news about moving him. I don't think they, and I've been following him a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, Solomon Thomas didn't pan out. But part of that I also blame on the 49ers, because they played him essentially out of position. He's not a defensive end. He was a defensive tackle. And, you know, if you give the guy a chance to play the position he plays, and I think he probably would have shined in that area. But, you know, it was more so based off need. They needed a Leo. They moved people around. Eric Armstead, Solomon Thomas, and then Nick Bosa as well, too. I mean, I'm a huge Nick Bosa fan. Wanted him throughout that whole college year. I was just like, I don't care if he's injured that year. I don't care if he had like an abdominal surgery or whatnot. Draft him. I want him. As Jerry Jones likes to say, he's a war daddy.
But yeah, number 12, Micah Parsons. I think Sean Lee retired. I think I saw something where he retired.
I think so. I mean, that guy's gotten so many concussions. It's probably best for his health to retire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like the Cowboys, but I mean, Sean Lee was good, but every time he got onto the field, I knew something was about to happen to him, unfortunately. I don't know why he played for that long, but I saw a meme the other day where it said Sean Lee retired after 13 NFL seasons or something, and it said 3 games played, 5 ACL tears. So yeah.
I mean, I guess my only really connection to Sean Lee would be Navarro Bowman. They were teammates in college. So.
Wait, was it Penn State?
Yeah, they both went to Penn State.
Micah Parsons, Penn State too.
Yeah.
Penn State linebacker for Penn State linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn Slater at number 13 to the Chargers. Some people were saying he might be better than Penei Sewell, but I don't really.
It's usually a toss up in those situations.
Yeah.
You know, like some of them are just so talented they fit in wherever. But a lot of times, you know, you can draft a left tackle, and then they play right tackle for a while until they get moved into left tackle, and they don't really play right tackle that well. It's a toss up. Like I said, it's based off situation. I'm not sure what the Chargers situation is, but the Chargers.
Who's the Chargers quarterback? Oh, Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert, yeah.
But Herbert didn't do bad. Herbert didn't good last
I think
year.
he got injured near the end of the year.
Yeah.
Not bad injury, but
No.
he got injured.
I didn't think he was gonna be
I thought he
good
was
like that, like right off the bat.
I thought he was going to be average at best, but he...
We'll see. We'll see if...
NFL defenses will focus on him now, so I guess this is the year.
Exactly. We'll see if he's able to do what he did last year, this year as well, too. I mean, you guys clearly saw Lamar Jackson, and, he wasn't the same Lamar Jackson from
He's still really good.
He's good, but once defenses figured him out, it's a lot harder. However, Patrick Mahomes... defenses still can't figure him out. They think they can. I mean, they have a game plan.
The Buccaneers did a good job, but he also didn't have 3 of his offensive linemen in that game. And the Bucs defense was
and the Niners did a good job, for the first half in the Super Bowl, and then
players like that, you just I don't know. I mean, a lot of the plays
you cannot stop them. You can only hope to contain them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the plays, even in the Super Bowl, he was. Right when he stepped the ball, there was 3 people in front of his face, and he was doing a backwards flip, and he still threw it in the guy's hand, and they would drop it. So I mean, he was still making the plays, but receivers weren't making the plays for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's that.
Looks like we got a few all linemen back to back. The Jets drafted Elijah Vera Tucker. I think he's a guard or center. I don't really know, but they're probably just trying to protect Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Or, Zach Wilson. I don't know why. I kept thinking Trevor Lawrence got drafted by the Jets because I remember watching Rich Eisen always complaining that the Jets were going to draft him, but they kept winning, so.
That's just how it goes sometimes.
And then Mac Jones to the Patriots, which is probably the best fit for him because that's exactly how he played it in Alabama, which has a system. They do it.
I think, that could be the next...
I don't know if I want to go as far as Tom Brady, if that's what you're going to say, but he's probably the closest thing they could have gotten to Tom Brady in this draft, even though, Tom Brady went 200 or 199 or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
we were at Mac Jones. Okay.
So again, that's Mac Jones is more so, I wouldn't say Tom Brady, but we can't discount that as well either because of the situation he's in. Because again, I believe Bill Belichick, he's probably the GOAT coach. There's no debating that at this point. He's the greatest coach of all time, and I think
is it Brady or is it Belichick?
Brady won.
A little bit of both.
Brady won this year, and the Patriots didn't do so great. However,
I think Belichick turned Brady into the quarterback that he is now, which is allowing him to even succeed while away from him.
True. Also, let's not discount the fact that Brady had Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
Well, yeah, he's not at the point where he can turn nothing receivers to good receivers. He needs help around him at this point, which is why he left New England, I think, because they weren't putting those players around him anymore. They just kept expecting him to turn Julian Edelman people into Antonio Brown. But yeah, Mac Jones to the Patriots, and then Zaven Collins, linebacker from Tulsa, I think, to the Cardinals.
Cool story about that is when they drafted him, he actually called him and said, he's like, let's go kill everyone. He's got that violence in him that I love to see in defensive players. I don't want him to hurt our quarterback because we're in the same division, but I'm more old school when it comes to especially defense. I love that violence. I love the hard hits where possibly knocked out. And for those of you who are more about the safety and everything, come on. They're playing football. If they wanted safety,
they wouldn't be playing
football. You know what you're getting into. and you're getting paid a ton of money to do it. So,
Truth.
high risk, high reward.
And a lot of the defensive players think that way too, but they are protecting the offensive players more than ever now. And I mean, I guess it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not as fun to watch if they're going to be calling a flag on every single play, if the defensive player is going all out. But at the same time, you also don't want to hurt people and put them in a bad position.
True.
For the rest of their life.
But just a little, off-topic thing, rant on that is, I still think the Tuck rule is BS. That should have been a fumble.
Doesn't matter to me. I mean, that might be Tom Brady twice. So.
Okay, I don't hate Tom Brady. I hated him for a while, but I don't hate him. But even not hating him, I still think that rule is BS because, it's essentially like if you're throwing the ball and if the ball goes backwards, they don't count that as a fumble, right? But it is a fumble if they lose the ball mid-throw, not if they don't get touched.
I don't know. That's kind of, it depends. I feel like if you look at the video,
and also if a botched thing.
I feel like it just depends because if you look at a video and you could tell that it was clearly a fumble, and you will know when it's a fumble. Like if you see them throwing the ball in a forward motion, and then as he's throwing it, he gets hit on the back or something, and he still throws it, and he just misses his target by a wide margin, then I don't think that's a fumble. But if he's mid motion, which I hate when I see the pass rusher coming in, especially when I'm watching the Giants and the pass rusher is coming in right as the quarterback is throwing it, I'm like, oh, that's a fumble. Because they usually hit him right at the perfect snap.
Yeah, but they also count a botched snap as a fumble. The quarterback's not throwing it in the forward motion. If the snap gets thrown over your head or something like that, then it's still technically a fumble.
Yeah, because that is a fumble. That's just the rule.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, that's...
Oh, well. Okay.
Something we could talk about.
Alex Leatherwood to the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's still weird to say.
Offensive tackle from Alabama. I think Alabama at this point already has 5 players or 6 players?
Yeah, Alabama's.
This is only the 17th pick. But yeah, I don't really know much about him. I think while I was watching the draft, they said it might have been a little bit of a reach. I think same with Zaven Collins, but not because he's not good enough to go in the first round, but not this early, I guess. But I guess if the Raiders saw the guy they liked and they didn't want to risk it, they just hit their guy.
Yeah, there's that too. Next, we have Miami again with Jalen Phillips, defensive end, and Miami.
Miami drafted a Miami player.
Yeah. Was that the first defensive end?
Yeah, that was the defensive end that went at that time. And I think they started coming off the board. Still not that often, but...
Which is weird because most drafts...
Not a very rich in defensive end.
Yeah, most drafts you see a lot of defensive ends and defensive tackle, just D linemen drafted in the first round because generally most drafts are very deep when it comes to those positions. Mm-hmm. This year it's been more so offense. It's been skill positions. It's not even running backs, but wide receivers and quarterbacks a lot. And cornerbacks, I guess, as well too. But again, it's a little bit weird to see. Next, we have the Washington football team.
Jamin Davis, linebacker from Kentucky. This one I know for sure they said he was a reach. Not because he's a bad player, but a little earlier than they were expecting.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't pan out. He's on Washington. I'm a Giants fan, so we don't want him to succeed.
Yeah. Next, we have number 20, the Giants.
Kadarius Toney. They traded down. Okay. I think they wanted this guy third. He's probably third on their board, other than Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. But they didn't think it was probably the right fit to draft him early at 11. Yeah, they had 11.
Was it 11?
It was 11. So they got 3 or 4 more extra picks the next couple years, and they ended up getting the third guy that they wanted anyway. So Gettleman, first time ever that he traded down in his whole career. So I mean,
what do you think about this guy? Being a Giants fan.
I honestly didn't know him when they drafted him, but I watched some highlights. I mean, his highlights they're obviously going to look good, but a lot of people
what about
saying
low lights?
they don't have it on camera, I don't think. But Reggie Wayne, who I think knows a thing or two about being a receiver, said he's a human joystick. And when I was watching his highlights, he looked a little bit like somewhere between like a Sterling Shepard, Tyreek Hill, like a hybrid. And it looks like he's a good returner, and he just got quick twitch and motion to him. So I think added on with Darris Slayton, Kenny Galladay that they signed, Sterling Shepard, Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph. Their offensive line I think will be decent this year. I don't know. We'll see who they get in this draft.
You need that offensive line beefed up. And
offense is stacked. I mean, Daniel Jones shouldn't have any excuses. Yeah. Vanilla Vic. There we go. And then number 21, Kwity Paye, defensive end from Michigan.
Another defensive end.
Yeah. Colts? Who's the quarterback for the Colts?
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, yeah.
Carson Wentz is a quarterback.
He's good.
And they also have DeForest Buckner on the Colts too. So
they took something from the Giants.
I was very sad about DeForest Buckner going to the Colts.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't trade Solomon Thomas instead. Because
even if they had to, if it was more of a cap issue, I would have rather had them trade Eric Armstead. Because Eric Armstead, they gave him an extension. So Eric Armstead, he had maybe one consistently good season, and then they give him an extension. Whereas Defoe, he was, he's been good and just improving every year for a while, and he's durable. It was I think it was his rookie or his sophomore year in the NFL where he played more snaps than any other defensive player. It was crazy the amount of snaps he played.
I'm not sure. Kwity Paye, and then number 22 to the Titans, Caleb Farley, another corner. I think
he
VT, is that Vermont?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. I don't know why it's Vermont. I don't really know much about him.
Caleb Farley, he was supposed to, if I remember correctly, he was supposed to go higher in the draft. It's just he had an injury that dropped his draft stock. They were thinking he might even drop to the second round. And he still won in the first round, and that speaks to his talent.
All right, let's go a little faster. We're going a little slow here.
Yeah.
So number 23, Christian Darris, offense tackle, again from Virginia Tech to the Vikings. Vikings quarterback is
Kirk Cousins.
Third Cousins. Okay.
He needs all the protection he can get.
I heard this guy fell a lot, so that was a steal for the Vikings. Again, don't really know much about the tackles. Don't really know much about college football in general. I really just watch NFL mostly, but I would usually know the top guys, but they said this guy fell. Number 24,
Najee Harris.
I don't know why.
I like Najee Harris.
I think he'll be good, but I don't know why Pittsburgh is drafting running backs when Big Ben is.
What's his name?
Do they have a backup?
Connor's not there anymore. I think Connor.
I know
James Conner.
Big Ben was playing. James Conner. Did he get rid of James? I think he's still there.
No,
I just don't think he's as good as they thought he was going to be. But yeah, I thought maybe they should have went up in the draft and picked up one of the.
But in a way, they're kind of helping Big Ben out with.
Yeah, but Big Ben had what? Did he have a decent year this last year? I mean, did they make the playoffs? They made the playoffs because they started off 10-0, didn't they? And then they started losing.
Maybe, I don't know. But Najee Harris, he's always. I mean, I've always liked him. He's more of a power runner again, which most Alabama running backs tend to be like power runners. They go
Eddie Lacy
vertical.
Was Alabama, right?
Yeah, Eddie Lacy was Alabama as well.
Derrick Henry was Alabama.
Derrick Henry and Trent Richardson.
Derrick Henry is very powerful.
Trent Richardson too.
Trent Richardson, but he wasn't really that good. No, I think he had one good year.
I mean, they had flops too. I mean,
Eddie Lacy was a flop.
Eddie Lacy was.
I think he had one good year as well with the Packers.
Yeah, I think he had like a couple, and then he became Cheeseburger Lacy.
Yeah, those cheeseburgers will get you. Jacksonville, again, we went over this earlier when I said they were matching up their players. Travis Etienne, running back from Clemson. So they were matching up Clemson with
We already went over that, so let's go to the Browns.
26, Greg Newsome. The second cornerback from NU. NU. We'll just go with NU. Greg Newsome. I think they have a good quarterback, Denzel Ward, right? Yeah, they drafted Denzel Ward a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Their defense is pretty good.
Is looking pretty good. Their defense is
offense
looking real good.
Pretty good too, but I think they got rid of somebody on the O-line.
Who did they get to team up with thing though? They got a really good defensive player lately, if I remember. Was it JJ Watt?
They got JJ Watt went to Arizona, I think.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, JJ Watt.
He did. He went and joined DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. What was I? Greg Newsome? No, they got Olivia Vernon and they have Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I know Myles Garrett. They got
Denzel
someone else too. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
I don't really watch Browns games. So
let us know who that other player is by that time. I might have researched it, but let us know regardless.
Rashad Bateman, wide receiver from Minnesota, looks like, to Baltimore, which I think is a good move.
They need receivers.
I think Bateman is fast, is what I heard.
Bateman's. I think he could be good. Lamar Jackson
needs some.
Lamar Jackson wanted to see the receipts.
What was it, Hollywood Brown? Hollywood Brown is the other receiver. Who's really good.
Lamar Jackson wants to see the receipts for Bateman. He doesn't know if he's good or not. He wants to see the receipts.
Peyton Turner, defensive end from Houston to the Saints. Didn't they draft defensive ends the last few years? I remember they traded a first-round pick for the last one they drafted. Right? They gave basically 2 first-round picks for 1 defensive end.
Yeah.
And then who's their quarterback now? Drew Brees retired, didn't he?
Yeah.
I
don't know if they drafted one because where did Bridgewater go? No, they recently.
Did Bridgewater go somewhere else?
Yeah.
What's the BYU quarterback that's there?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. I think he might be playing there for now. But I think they signed somebody else, but I'm not sure. Eric Stokes, cornerback to Green Bay.
Again,
another corner.
They only build through the draft, which is why they can't have a lot of talent all at once, because by the time it's time to, draft again or whatnot, and anyone that's developed, they don't want to pay them. They let them go, and then and then Aaron Rodgers has no help. I mean, they have Devontae Adams, but so much. That's
a pretty good option, but I think it was more O-line that was a problem, and the defense is pretty good.
But the thing is, you can spend money and get good O-linemen. But again,
but Devontae Adams isn't
the Rams did that. The Rams had a really good O-line. The Chiefs have a really good O-line.
Not in the Super Bowl. They didn't.
Not in the Super Bowl, but
it wasn't really good. It was just decent, and they lost 3 players on it. So,
again, the Rams had a really good O-line.
Patrick Mahomes just knows how to.
The Rams had a good enough O-line where Jared Goff looked really good.
Yeah, I think they signed Whitworth that year.
Yeah, Whitworth.
Is he still playing? I don't know. Eric Stokes, you said that. Gregory Rousseau, defensive end from Miami to Buffalo.
D's are starting it now. The next 2 players are D's as well too.
Yeah.
And then we have
Jason Owe
for Baltimore, and then we have Joe Tryon,
defensive end from Washington to Tampa.
Tampa's beefing up their defense.
Tampa kept all their players from last year, all their starters.
They took pay cuts. Honestly, I give my props to Mike Evans, because the first thing he said after the Super Bowl is what do I need to do? What can I take less money so we can run it back? You don't really see that in receivers. You don't see that in skill positions per se, because
I know
it's most receivers are divas. They're drama queens.
As much as I love Odell and I would love him back, he got on my nerves a lot with all his off the field stuff. He got paid big time and still was being a diva. So I don't know. What he had an interview with Lil Wayne while he was on the Giants, saying that he needs a better quarterback or something. Literally right before the game it aired. He just did a lot of things where he wasn't really a bad teammate. All his teammates said they loved him, and he was someone that they didn't want to lose, but he was just, I don't think he was good for chemistry overall.
No. And I agree with that. That's, again, Mike Evans, props to him. I was hoping at one point the Niners would have made a trade for him. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And then, even like Antonio Brown, you saw what happened with him multiple times.